Hello everyone, welcome to OTHM Level 6 Diploma in Business Management. So today we are going to discuss Unit 3 of this diploma, that is Operations Management. We have the first learning outcome in which we try to understand the nature and importance of operations management. So we have the first assessment criteria in which I will try to explain you people why operations management is important for organizations. So first we will have the definition of operations management. It is the administration of business practices which aims at ensuring the efficiency in converting inputs into the outputs. And here are some key elements of operations management. For example, first we have planning, which means setting the objective, strategies, and determining the necessary resources. Then we have controlling, in which we have monitoring performance and taking corrective actions. Then we have organizing, in which we structure the resources to optimize productivity. Then we have improving, in which we continuously enhancing the process for better efficiency. Now we will discuss the impact of changes in the business environment on operations management. So first we have the technological advancement, for example, automation and AI improving operational efficiency. Then we have the globalization, like it requires management of complex supply chain and international operations. Then we have the customer expectations, for example, increasing the demand for personalized product and faster delivery. Then we have sustainability, like we need for environmentally responsible operations to meet regulatory standard and consumer preferences. Now we have the core functional areas and their interrelationships. So first we have operations, which mean produce good services by efficiently managing the resources. Then we have marketing, in which we drive demand for product, which inform production planning. Then we have finance, which provide the budget and monitor cost for operation. Then we have human resources, in which we manage the personnel necessary to run the operations smoothly. Then we have interrelationships, which are the functional areas that must work together to ensure aligned goals and efficient processes. Then we have some differences and similarities between services and product. If we talk about the product, then product are the tangible and they can be stored. They are quietly measurable and their production is often separated from consumptions. If we talk about services, then it is intangible, it is produced and consumed simultaneously, and it is customized to consumer needs and difficult to measure the quality. If we talk about some similarities, then we require both efficient process of both. For example, quality control, customer satisfaction, and use of resources to be successfully delivered. Now we have the second assessment criteria in which we analyze the operations function of a selected organization. So we have some operations function overview. First, it is that the operation functions involve managing resources, for example, people, technology, material to produce and deliver goods or services efficiently. Then we have some strategic role. For example, operations management is key to meeting strategic goals such as cost efficiency, product quality, and customer satisfaction. Then we have some core activities, which means production planning, inventory management, quality control, and process improvement are vital for seamless operations. Now we have the impact of environmental and ethical issues on operations management. So there are some environmental impact. For example, it focus on sustainable practice. It is compliant with the environmental regulation. And if we talk about ethical behavior, then there are some ethical sourcing of materials, and it needs to ensure the compliance with the ethical standards. Now we have the role of supply chain and operations. So the supply chain is always critical for the smooth flow of materials and goods, and it is the effective supply chain management which ensures the cost efficiency, timely delivery, and product quality. For example, Amazon's highly efficient supply chain always leverages the technology and logistics to ensure the fast deliveries. Now we have the third assessment criterion, which we evaluate the operations management process of selected organization using relevant models. So we have input, transformation, output, process. First we have input, in which there are some resources such as labor, raw material and technology that go into the production. Then we have transformation, in which this is the process where inputs are converted into outputs. Then we have outputs, these are the final product or services delivered to the customers. In inputs we have the example steel and workers, which are the resources. Then we, in transformation, we have the example of cars assembling, and at outputs we have the example of final product, that is car. Now we have the process hierarchy. It includes first the strategic process. It is the high level planning, long term operations strategy, and second we have the tactical process, that is day to day operations including production scheduling and inventory management. Then we have operational process, in which there are some specific tasks like quality control, maintenance, or customer service. For example, in Apple's production hierarchy, in a strategic process, first we have the product innovation and design. Then in tactical process, we have manufacturing schedule and outsourcing decision. If we talk about operational process, then we have quality checks and assembly line process. Now we have the business process modeling and lean management. So what is business process modeling? It basically visualizes the operations process to identify inefficiencies and streamline activities. Then we have the lean management, which focuses on eliminating the waste, increasing efficiency, and maximizing for value for the customers. Then we have JIT, which means just in time, which maximize the inventory by producing only what is needed and when it's needed. For example, Toyota uses lean management and JIT techniques to eliminate waste and streamline its operations. Now we have supply chain integration and lean techniques. What is supply chain integration? It involves the coordination between suppliers, manufacturers, and distributors to different customers. For example, Amazon integrates its supply chain using advanced logistic and real-time data to optimize deliveries and inventory management. Then we have lean techniques. For example, there are some methods like 5S and Kaizen. For example, Dell's direct to customer supply chain model always leverages the lean management to build PCs only when orders are placed. Now we have the second learning outcome, in which we will try to evaluate the link between operations management and strategic planning. So first learning outcome is to appraise the importance of three E's in the organization. Now we will discuss the importance of these one by one. First is economy, which means spending wisely and getting what you need at the lowest cost without losing the quality. Then we have the efficiency. It's about working smart. You have to use the least amount of time and resources to get the things done. Then we have the effectiveness. It basically focus on reaching goals and make sure that the work always leads to the right results. Now we have the second assessment criterion, which we assess the impact of the tension between cost minimization and quality maximization. So we have the code tension, that is cost minimization versus quality maximization. So what is cost minimization? It basically focuses on reducing expenses and time, resources and budgets, and it prioritizes short-term saving. Then we have quality maximization, which aims for top-notch product or services, and it requires an skilled labor, better material, and more time. Then we have the impact on business operations and strategy. For example, cutting cost can always lead to the fewer resources and rushed timelines. It impacts quality focused approaches, and need more time and manpower. Lower cost might shrink the budget for the quality control and innovation, and it limits the competitive edge. For example, maximizing the quality often requires bigger budgets. And then we have the operations versus strategy planning. If we talk about operation, then it is the day-to-day cost-saving methods which can compromise the product service standard. If we talk about the strategic planning, then it is the long-term planning that leans towards the quality investment to build the brand reputation and market positioning. Now we have the external factor analysis, in which we discuss the pastel analysis. First, we have the political and legal. factor, which means regulatory pressure that may enforce the quality standards. Then we have the economic factor, which means that in the time of recession, cost minimization become crucial, while boom periods may allow for more quality investment. Then we have technological factor, which means that advances can make the high quality product more affordable. Then we have the environmental factor, which means that sustainability demands push companies to adopt greener practices. Then we have social factor, which means changing consumer preferences affect the product demand and business strategies. Now we have to evaluate the significance of the five performance objectives that underpin the operations management organization for the assessment criteria. Third. So we have the different operations management performance objective. First we have cost, then we have dependability, then we have flexibility, then after that we have quality, and at last we have speed. Now we will discuss them one by one. If we talk about cost, then cost is about keeping the production cost low to maintain the profitability and competitive pricing. If we talk about dependability, then it is about the delivering product or service on time, every time, which ensures customer trust. If we talk about flexibility, then it is the ability to adapt the changes in demand, new trends, or product customization. If we talk about quality, then it is about to ensure the consistent standards that meet or exceed the customer expectations. If we talk about speed, then it is about the reducing lead times and getting product or service to market faster. Then we have some internal and external benefit of excelling in performance objectives. So this table is about the performance objective and its internal and external benefit. If we talk about cost, then its internal benefit is that it reduces the waste, and its external benefit is that it provides the competitive pricing. If we talk about dependability, then its internal benefit is that it streamlines the internal process, and if we talk about its external benefit, then it builds a reputation for reliability. Then we have the flexibility, and its internal benefit is that it enhances the capability to respond to market changes quickly. If you talk about its external benefit, then it always allows the rapid response to customer needs. Then we have the quality, and its internal benefit is to reduce the rework scrap and increase the operational efficiency. If you talk about its external benefit, then it enhances the customer satisfaction and brand loyalty. Then we have the speed, and its internal benefit is to shortens the production cycle. If we talk about its external benefit, then it faster the delivery, which provides the competitive advantage in dynamic markets. Now we have the third learning outcome, in which we would be able to assess how to organize typical production process. We have the first assessment criteria, in which we assess the importance of process mapping and flow charting. Now in this slide, we will discuss the importance of mapping and flow charting. So process mapping is basically the visual representation of the steps which involved in business process from start to finish. Its importance is that it highlights the redundancies and bottlenecks in the workflow. It provides a clear visual for teams to understand the process. It pinpoints the areas for streamlining and automation. It offers clear guidance for new employees to follow the process. And it helps in evaluating the changes or new implementations in the process. Now there is the process mapping with example. For example, first in the linear process, we have to greet the customer, then we take its order, then we give them price and get paid. After that, we make the order and we give this order to the customer. If we talk about decision making process, then first we greet the customer, we get the order from the customer, then we check if the product available or not. If the product is available, then it is yes, and we give the price and get paid. But if the product is not available, then our answer would be no to the customer, and we advise the customer that okay, this product or service is not available right now, and what we can do for them as an alternative. But if it's available, then we give them price and get paid. After that, they can make order, we can make order, and then we can give it to the customer. Now there is the example of, again there is the example explanation of the linear process. I have also explained it in the picture. So I think you just have to just read it once and you can have an idea. I have already explained this whole process in the previous slide, that first you have to greet the customer. The process start with that, then you have to place their order. Then after the order is placed, the price is provided and the customer makes the payment. And then you make the order and then you give it to the customer. Again, here is the example of the decision based process with explanation, which I have already explained in the picture. So there is one difference of yes or no, that if yes, if the product is available, we can give the price and get paid. If the process is not available, then we can advise the customer, where the customer is informed about the product's unavailability. And again, the same steps would be repeated. Now we have the linear programming definition and application. So it is the mathematical technique which is used to find the best possible outcome in given scenarios subject to constraints. Its application include the product production planning, which is to optimize resource allocation and scheduling. Then this is inventory management, which helps balance stock levels with demand. Then there is supply chain, which ensures optimal transportation and distribution paths. Then there is critical path CPA and network planning. So what is CPA? It identifies the longest sequence of dependent tasks in a project, highlighting the minimum time required to complete it. Now we have network planning, which it is a graphical method which is used to plan and organize the task, resources, and timeline in project. There is some benefit that it helps to avoid delays by managing the dependencies. It optimizes the time management and project flow. Now we have network planning with example. For example, it predict the future work needs based on expected changes like new services or growth. It create the structure and plan for the network based on forecasted needs. We will build and set up the network according to the design plan. We run the network to provide services and meet user demands. And we continuously check the network's performance. And then we have to adjust and improve the network based on performance data or new requirements. Now there is the critical path with the example. Here are some steps. For example, first we have to book the venue. For example, 2 days before. Then we will send the invitation 3 days before. Then we have arranged the catering, that is for 4 days. Then we can set up the decoration 2 days. Then we can have the final checks before one day of the event. So the critical path is the sequence of the task which will take the longest time to complete. So in this case, there are total 12 days that we can take to complete the task. If any of these tasks are delayed, the entire project will be delayed. So here is the critical path, which shows some example of the event planning, that how it is started and how it is completed. So now what is capacity and inventory planning? If we talk about capacity planning, then it ensures that production facilities and resources can meet demand and activities. And its key element or activities involve the demand forecasting, resource allocation, and load balancing. If we talk about inventory planning, then it focuses on maintaining optimal stock levels, and its key element include reorder point, safety stock, and economic order quantity, that is EOQ. Then we have the project management and quality assurance control. What is project management? It involves the planning and executing and closing project, ensuring that goals are met within the scope, time, and budget. Then we have quality assurance, which ensures the process are followed correctly to maintain product quality. Then we have quality control, which inspect final product to ensure they meet quality standards. Then we have the importance of that both QA and QC are critical to ensure that the product are meeting the customer expectations and regulatory requirements, minimizing the defects and returns. Now we have the second assessment criteria, in which we analyze the concept of lean operations and waste reduction. So, what is lean operation? Lean operation focus on maximizing the value by eliminating the waste and improving the efficiency. It deliver more value to the customer with fewer resources, and its key element include reducing the waste in process, streamlining operations for better efficiency, and continuous improvement mindset. Now we will discuss the waste reduction in lean operations. There are total seven type of waste, which are also called as stem wood. First, we have transportation, which means the unnecessary movement of product and materials. Then we have inventory, which is the excess stock that adds no value. Then we have motion, which is the unnecessary movement by employees. Then we have waiting, in which there are some delays that are in the process. Then we have overproduction, which means making more than needed. Then we have the over processing, which means more work than required. After that, we have defects, which means some errors that required rework. Now we have value stream mapping, that is called as VSM. It is a tool that is used to visualize the flow of material and information. It helps in the entire process from start to finish. It identifies inefficiencies and waste in the process. It map out both current state and the ideal state of the process. And it pinpoints exactly where waste exists so it can be removed systematically. Now we have the cause and effect analysis through the fishbone diagram. It is a visual tool to identify potential cause of a problem or inefficiency. It breaks down problem into major categories, for example, materials, methods, machinery, people. And if we talk about its application, then it helps the team to understand all potential causes of inefficiencies. It facilitates the deeper analysis to prevent reoccurrence of waste or defects. Now we have the third assessment criteria in which we analyze the concept and importance of process re-engineering. So what is the process re-engineering? It is the radical redesign of business processes to achieve significant improvement in critical performance measure. Instead of making small tweaks, it's about rethinking and reinventing entire process. Key elements includes radical redesign, which means not just improving the process but completely overhauling them. Then we have to focus on outcome, which means begin with the desired results and rework the process backward. Then we have use of technology, in which there is often leveraging of the advanced technology to streamline and automate. Now we have the importance of process reengineering. So first we have the increased efficiency, in which there is a streamlines operations by removing unnecessary steps, leading to faster turnaround times. Then we have cost reduction, which means reduces the waste and overhead cost by eliminating redundant process and and using resources more effectively. Then there is the improved customer satisfaction, which means results in better products and services through quicker, higher quality outputs. Then we have adaptability, which means to help the organization to remain competitive by making them more agile in response to changing market conditions. For example, companies like Ford and IBM use re-engineering to reduce the cost and improve product delivery time significantly. Now we have the fourth learning outcome, in which we would be able to apply the relevant techniques to the production of an operational plan for an organization. So first we have the first assessment criteria, in which we analyze the applicability of total quality management in a selected organization. Now there are some important TQM tools in Toyota. that is fishbone diagram, cause and effect analysis, which helps the Toyota to identify the root cause problem, for example, defect in car parts or manufacturing inefficiencies. For example, if there is defect in brake parts, they use the fishbone diagram to trace the issue to its source. And if we talk about Six Sigma, then Toyota can use Six Sigma to reduce the variability and ensure high quality standard across its production process. It ensures that each vehicle manufactured is consistent in quality, which minimizes the defect to almost zero. Then we have the continuous improvement Kaizen and benchmarking at Toyota. So, what is Kaizen? It is the core part of Toyota's TQM philosophy, which focus on making small daily improvements. Like every employee from factory workers to management is encouraged to suggest the ways to improve efficiency and quality. Then, if we talk about benchmarking, then Toyota benchmark its process and quality standard against the best in the industry. And it helps them to maintain a competitive edge by learning from industry leaders and setting higher quality standards. So TQM application at Toyota to improve the operations will be discussed in that slide. For example, they have the customer focused approach in which Toyota's TQM ensure that customer needs are the core focus. Then there is the employee involvement in which Toyota encourage all the employees from the assembly line workers to managers to contribute the ideas for the improvement of the processes. Then if we talk about process centered thinking, then Toyota optimize its production process using different tools. Then if we talk about industry standard and adaptability, then Toyota consistently meets and exceeds automotive industry standard. Then at last we have quality culture in which there is quality that is embedded in Toyota's culture, which ensures that every vehicles reflect excellence, reliability, and safety, which reinforce the customer trust and brand loyalty. Now we have the third learning outcome in which we create a plan to use emerging technologies, for example, Internet of Technologies, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and TQM process. So if we talk about integrating emerging technologies in TQM, then first we have the Internet of Things, and its application is that use of IoT sensors in manufacturing to monitor machine performance, and its benefit includes that enables the predictive maintenance, it reduces the machine downtime, it ensures consistent quality. Then we have AI, and its application is that implementing AI driven quality control system to analyze the product data and identify defect. Its benefit includes automates decision making, reduce human error, and ensures high quality standard. If we talk about blockchain, then its application include use blockchain to track the materials and components throughout the supply chain, and its benefits includes enhanced accountability, enhanced traceability, and ensures every part meets the quality standard. Now we have some benefits of emerging technologies in TQM. For example, AI makes real-time decision spending on production while maintaining the consistent quality. The Internet of Things and artificial intelligence continuously monitor the production to catch issues early, which ensures the top quality input. And automated checks significantly minimize humans' error, which leads to more accurate and efficient process. And blockchains create a secure, transparent record of the supply chain, which improve trust and accountability. So thank you so much. This is all about Unit 3 of the Level 6 Diploma in Business Management. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Thank you.